Welcome back to the Nerdcore podcast number 358. I hope I got that one right, or I might just be wrong here, but 358. And as always, is your Saturday morning review here on the Nerdcore podcast. And as always, I am joined by my wonderful co host, Young Yoda.
Sup, everybody. Welcome to the main show.
The
where
main
the topics do matter.
Exactly, where the topics do matter. I want to thank everybody who stopped by today. When I was on Minecraft, when I was on High Flyer Radio, Minecraft Flyer Radio, Brad. Imagine that.
I mean, it might be a thing. I don't know. Who knows what the future may hold?
Who knows, right? I want to thank everybody who stopped by on High Flyer Radio today with Jabril and I. We had a really fun time. But yeah, I just checked. We are 358. Okay, cool. So I'm not wrong. But Brad, how you doing, bro?
Doing all right. Glad to be back. Been a few days.
Been a few days, right?
Been a few days. I've missed talking to my friend.
I'm rocking the new setup here. I've got my camera connected as my webcam.
Now I have a question. What was with that bullshit where you said your camera, like you couldn't hook shit?
So apparently, when you have the Wi-Fi setting on your camera turned on, it shuts down all the digital ports on your camera. It shuts them down.
That seems
weird, right?
Like a fail.
Yeah,
like a big fail.
So I turned it off, and then I plugged everything in, and boom, we're working real fine here. For some reason, this refuses to work on OBS, but then again, we don't use OBS. So.
I mean, OBS is kind of a pain in the ass, which is why none of us use it yet.
Huge pain in the ass, bro. One of the biggest pains in my ass ever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, I'm having a good time with this. I just gotta remind myself to charge my batteries all the time because my battery life is pretty bad.
You can't just like plug it in and just have it like it's hardwired into a electrical socket.
Alex ordered a adapter, power supply adapter. So I'm gonna find out if that works well with the computer because we have the same camera. We're gonna find out if that's good, and then I'll order one too. But we'll see how this works out. But I enjoy using my camera. I mean, I like this quality a lot better than the camera quality, to be honest. And next step is for Brad to get on this type of grind too, bro. Look at that.
Well, my shit's good. What's wrong with my shit?
I mean, it's just clear. The lighting is way better on this, bro.
That's because I have no fucking lights on, sir.
But you know the difference between my camera quality and the lighting when I was on the other one, right? Like it looked like
yours was shit. Yours was shit. Like mine's not shit though.
Well, to each their own, I guess.
I don't know. Like I am not going out and spending money on a fucking camera just to set up near my computer.
But hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. What's it called? Investment. Jabril's looking into getting one too. Well, because he has his girlfriend does
photography.
sells items and stuff. So he's constantly taking photos for her on his phone. So he wants to get something that he can take like better photos of the product and stuff.
See, my wife has a Nikon, but that's my wife's. So
true. But yeah, I'm liking what we're doing here. I'm thankful that this works, and shout out to Canon for not having to make me buy a Elgato Cam Link.
I mean, I don't know why you're bitching.
What?
Like, I don't know why, because like 2 to 3 years ago, we didn't have nothing. We had nothing.
Saying, shout out to Canon because of them, I don't have to spend $200 on a Cam Link, and all I had to spend money on was a new USB cord for this. So shout out to Canon. I didn't have to buy a stupid Cam Link, which I've heard has already been giving a lot of people a lot of trouble. So I saved myself the headache. But yeah. So we're doing a review of Crip Camp today, and you can imagine my disappointment when I found out this film was not about gangs, but it's Jabril told me to make that joke because he laughed at it. So yeah, but this was a pretty damn special what's it called? Really good close to my heart, honestly. Close to my heart. It's a very special documentary for me. So I can't wait to talk about this movie. And this is honestly probably in my top 10 of the year right now. Because
I think it was a great documentary. To be
yeah,
honest,
this man,
the way it was, it took basically home footage and put it together with the story, and also them fighting for their rights that never existed.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and start reading that the article for this. But yeah, no, this is a really important one for me. I think that this is probably one of the most important movies I probably have to talk about here because it's really special and close to my heart. Crip Camp, A Disability Revolution is a 2020 American documentary film directed and produced by Nicole
Newnham
and James Lebrecht. The film follows Camp Jened, a summer camp for teens with disabilities. Larry Allison, Judith Holman, James Lebrecht, Denise Shear Jackson, and Stephen Hoffman. Okay, stop. Appear in the film. Barack and Michelle Obama serve as executive producers under their production company, Higher Ground Productions. The film had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 23rd, 2020, where it won the Audience Award. It was released on March 25th, 2020 by Netflix. The film received critical acclaim from critics. So I want to check here. It is about an hour and 48 minutes. It's not a long one at all.
No, it was actually pretty decent for a documentary.
Yeah. So it starts with the roots of the camp. And then it does something that I appreciate a lot. It was like, yo, we weren't any different from all the summer camps. Like, the kids make out here and stuff. Like they were getting into the normal things you get into when you're at a summer camp as teenagers. And
I mean, the crabs was kind of funny.
The crabs was fucking hilarious. Yep. You never thought you would come back home with crabs after summer camp, right? Yeah.
I mean, their parents had to get there and go, "What the fuck?"
How? But yeah, and then we kind of get into the whole idea of how these teens feel, and then we really get into the really interesting part of this documentary when we start seeing these teenagers wanting to fight for their rights, because they were seeing how the civil rights movement was working really well and how it was really influential, and they wanted to fight for disability rights and disabled rights. And I gotta say, man, I think this is a really, really good documentary, especially in the way that it's formatted. Like we don't go straight into the fight for disability. We kind of see who is behind the fight. All these teenagers and what makes them them, and we kind of go towards progressing into the actual fight and asking for the American Disability Act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you think about Crip Camp?
I mean, it's definitely one of those stories you don't hear a lot, because the main focus is very controversial in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, not a lot of films get made about those with physical disabilities. It just really doesn't happen.
Yeah. Hey to Michelle. Michelle is saying hey on Patreon, by the way.
There goes my train of thought.
Sorry about that.
Damn it.
You were saying how you don't really see them people with physical and mental disabilities on film.
No, you don't. I mean, it's very rare. That's why I think Peanut Butter Falcon got so much fanfare. Is the main character was actually had a mental disability. Like, he was handicapped in a way, and you just don't get that. You just don't. I mean, that was very rare, and it worked. I thought Peanut Butter Falcon was fantastic in itself, and just definitely helped Chia get his career back. Yeah. But to give back to Crip Camp, I will say that it brought a lot to focus what you don't think about, what people had to go through in order to get some of the things that, like ramps. Yeah, ramps are everywhere. like in every building, everywhere.
Well, they should be in everywhere, but some
It should be in everywhere. There's some older styles that they haven't done repairs for years, so they haven't had to upgrade. They haven't had to go into that. But for the most part, everywhere you go, be it a sidewalk, you see a ramp. Be it any new building, there's ramps. There's accesses for those of the handicapped. And before, it's crazy to think, before I think it was 74 or 72, that didn't exist. Like curbs didn't have any freaking way to get up it.
Nope.
And you're just wondering. I mean, they literally have characters in here who said, in order for me to get to my class, I literally had to crawl and hold on to my wheelchair up the steps. And you're just going, what the hell? And ADA, I deal with that a lot in my regular job, not in my podcasting job, but in my regular job. I have to deal with that a lot, depending on what we're doing, because I'm always cognizant of, if we don't do this, yeah, you're getting sued. You're getting sued big time. Like it's not a pretty picture. Like, this is real important shit.
Yeah,
and that's what I think this movie brings into light, is that Camp Jened brought all these different people together, and they stayed together through it, and they helped each other basically get their rights to be able to live normal lives, which it's amazing documentary, the way it follows through, and the way, some of the cast, or I don't, do I call them cast in a documentary? Some of the subjects, they are in Congress, they are talking to senators, and they follow that. And it's fantastic where you get the whole story.
Yeah. And I think it's also kind of fantastic because it brings up like that even the ADA it's not enough yet. It's not enough. It's not, it's a step forward, but it's not enough for the full rights of disabled people. No. And it's like she said, I'm tired of coming in here and just fighting for accessible restrooms. Like, there's got to be more to it. We need more coverage for people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. And I loved it because it kind of brings in those stuff from not just the past but the present as well. And it's incredible how they use the archival footage and everything. I like how they have those interviews with the camp members at the time, and they're like, they're talking, and I specifically like that guy from Brooklyn who said he was blind, and he was giving out his number. He's like, hey, I just want to talk to somebody, just call me and talk to me. I want to talk to somebody.
Well, and they even say in this film that the really what they did with people with mental or physical handicaps is they institutionalized them. They put them away from the public eye, and then they bring up archival footage of one of those institutions, which is just a horror in itself.
Yeah. Yep. So, you kind of start to, so, I that's kind of what I love, because I was thinking, if this is just a film about the camp, I'm like, that's cool and all, but like, that's such a like a vague story about disabled people. But instead, this is more of a, an actual story about the disability rights movement. And it's just well done and well formatted. And I gotta hand them off. Like, this is just it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see, actual disabled people on screen, especially on a film on Netflix.
Well, and Netflix. And not just that, it's seeing disabled people shown living normal lives. Yeah. They get married. They have sex. Yep. Some have kids. I mean, it's all in this film. It's showing them that, yes, they have a disability. That doesn't stop them from living a full and happy life. And which is a shame that they locked some of these people away in institutions, and those people never got to enjoy life. And it makes me think, like, I have friends with disabilities. I have you. Like, you could have been put into an institution back in the day for all I know.
Yep, exactly. And that could have been what I went through, and it would have been really scary. But, knowing that these people were able to fight for my rights So not just my rights. I mean, also my big brother, dude. My big brother, who's also
Well, a lot of people in your family.
yeah, and just like, and it brings up the question, like, why not fight for the rights of disabled people? Because being disabled, it can happen to anybody.
Well, and I like how they the people in this, the one main counselor, she was in a wheelchair, she was disabled,
Mhm.
but she was smart. She was smart in that she took what she got from Camp Janed, and she went on and she was like, I need, not just for me, but I need for all these people, all my friends, I need to get them their rights. And then she goes and she finds those veterans of the Vietnam War who are
Yeah.
now disabled. And
Mhm.
Vietnam War at that time, it was easy for politicians to overlook disabled people, but it was hard for them to overlook the disabled war heroes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and for that, I've got an interesting, what's it called? So I spoke at a disability panel at my old college years ago. And, what's it called? One of the people who was there, what's it called? They were the daughter of a disabled veteran who, I believe, if I remember correctly, lost their leg in Vietnam. And he even said, like, the government didn't do anything for me. They didn't help. And it's interesting, and of course, it also has to do with the fact that he's Latino himself. Of course, the government was going to ignore him compared to other veterans. But
Well, and also I think Vietnam was the most unpopular war.
oh yeah,
And that's the issue you have, is that war was so unpopular. Nobody in the government even wants to mention it or deal with it, and they feel it easier to sweep under the rug.
hmm So and kind of like what you get from this film is that like it took a long time for you to fight for these rights, but you know it's a fight that needs to happen because anybody can anybody can become disabled. Like tomorrow, you can lose your legs, and you could become disabled
Oh,
yourself.
they even went into that. They had this one woman on there who she didn't understand all this that was going on until she became someone with a disability.
Exactly,
Until
exactly.
she was in a wheelchair, and then
Mhm.
she understood.
Yeah, and I got to say, like, what's it called? I, I love that part where I think it was the main woman, and she was like, when they were playing out there, and said that we were playing with the kids, and like, and that she was going I think to school, and then somebody stopped her and then looked at her, and they said, if you are you sick? And it brings up like one of the biggest things. It's like some of us with disabilities, like, especially at an early age, we don't even know that this comes from a sickness. Like we just know that you know we were born this way.
Yeah.
And then when someone brings something like that up, it diminishes who we are down to just our sickness. And for her, it was her polio. And it's just it's a great documentary about not just educating you about the disability rights movement, but it's also about the way that you should move forward in treating people with disabilities, and the way
I,
that you approach people with disabilities as well.
and like, I didn't even understand before that there was like a hierarchy when it came to disabilities. Like polio, like those who are disabled, like the ones who didn't have polio wanted polio
Yeah.
because
Oof.
they were seen as the I guess most normal looking to people,
Mhm.
because it mainly looked like just they couldn't walk, but everything else looked normal. And then I guess it ranged on down from there to like Lou Gehrig's disease and
Yeah.
all that. But this movie puts into light a lot of things that's usually kept hidden,
Yeah.
and the fact that Camp Janed even happened, I think, is like just amazing and just probably a miracle in a way, because they go into it. It was a camp, and I believe in the middle of New York, somewhere in New York.
Mhm.
Um, it was run by hippies, so no one, like, there weren't any doctors or anything. It was run basically by hippies and other disabled people.
Yeah.
And you know, it, I just love some of the stories because you have some of the characters on there
Yeah.
get on there and go. One dude telling a story how, like, it was first time he was making out with a girl, and they I think he said something to the effect of he and her wheeled themselves to the trees, and she sucked his cock, and it's just like he's like it was amazing. I'm just like, yeah, I get that. Yeah,
I get that, man. I also love the what's it called? You're making me. I had it right now, and I was gonna try to say it, but when they were talking about the camp at the beginning, and it was like, well, it's run by hippies, so like you're pretty much probably gonna meet with your counselor to smoke pot, and he was like, that's awesome.
Well, and he was a 15-year-old, and
Yeah.
he was the only disabled person at his school. And that's who I think the James Lebrecht, I think that was him who actually directed and produced part of this documentary. And that was his film.
Yeah.
Like and for a 15-year-old, well, for anyone to take their film from when they were 15, like he even like, and they were interviewing like everyone, even some of the more disabled, who is hard to understand. But what's amazing is like they were hard to understand, but you had other disabled people who could understand what they were saying.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. What's it called? It was a little hard to understand, but I mean, what's it called? They did provide subtitles, which I'm thankful for. And also, what's it called? It was really cool that they could understand each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Crip Camp a good old 8.5 out of 10. Great doc. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen so far this year, man. It's
a really good document. I mean, I've watched a shit ton of documentaries. I love documentaries. Yeah. This one was really good. Just, most documentaries, it would have focused just on Camp Jened, but this one, it went out and okay, so this is our camp. These are our people, and then it follows those people throughout their lives, to them getting jobs, to them moving into their own housing, to them like fighting the man and getting ADA ramps, and it's one of those. It's just great how they did it.
Yeah,
and the topic on it is something that's not very well put out there, not well seen. So I absolutely love this documentary.
Yeah.
So
please watch it, guys. It's on Netflix, and go and check it out. So what do you give it, Brad?
I'll give it a strong 9.25. I think it's really, really good.
Yep. I believe Michelle just put something in here. I added it to my list. I'll watch it tomorrow. Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle, for that. That's awesome. I really implore everybody to watch it, please. It's important. Disabled stories matter, man. And it matters so much. And they're never really broadcast and shown on film, and we need to start seeing more of that, because these stories matter a lot.
Well, and this is one of those stories, like, if they're never told, people never listen to it.
Exactly. So with that being said, that is our Saturday morning review for you all. Thursday and early for a Thursday on for patrons early, and you can go ahead and what the hell did you do? What was that?
What is that?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I hope you're not throwing up gang signs on here.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't realize. No, my bad. No, none of that.
You know what, Brad? Go ahead and rep your set, bro. You want to rep your set? Yeah.
I will run a camp. Don't make me.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like my monitor battery already died. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us. And as always, you can go to nerdcore.com to find out everything about us here at Nerdcore. And as always, you can find reviews and social media information on there. And we want to thank our wonderful patrons. And the patrons are getting this early before anybody else. And you want to become a patron that gets to watch this early, like Michelle right now, you can go to patreon.com/nerdcore to pledge to a tier. Any tier, $1 and above, already gets access to these live streams early. And I want to say thank you to all the patrons, because they make this show happen. But especially thank you to our producers and our writers. Our associate producers are Cassie and Sarah. Thank you, Cassie and Sarah, for being wonderful people and helping us out here. Also, we have our executive producers, Grayson Barker, who you can follow at Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram and Warlord 1 Bar on Twitter. Thank you, Grayson. You're the OG, the first ever producer of the show. So we thank you so much. Brad, where can you find Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at XSRK_.
I gotta fix that on the thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So
You've been saying that for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to our writers as well. Our writers are $25 tier members and above. Well, $25 tier members because the $50 tier is the director tier. So shout out to our writers, Brown Rice 96 on Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch. Thank you, Bryce, for being a wonderful, our wonderful writer, and also Real Nerdy Dad. Thank you, Tony, for being a writer.
Hey, Tony.
Thank all of you guys for being wonderful patrons and helping us support what we do on here. Shout out to our newest patron, Mexican Luis Capaldi. Thank you so much, man. You've made us reach 20 patrons. Starting next month, if we do have 20 patrons, we are going to start doing our audio movie commentaries. And also, Brad's beard is gone, and Luis will be coming on the live show to have his head shaven. That's going to be a lot of fun. So with that being said, it's been a lot of fun here to talk with you guys. And as always, we'll be seeing you on the live show. But if you can't check us out then we'll be back on Tuesday for our last Nolan review as we look at... Hold on. Damn, my waters keep falling off. The Dark Knight, right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's a good one to end with.
Yep. We're ending it. Well, we ended with this one for the public, though.
Yes, with the public. Yeah. Then the mini pod. Blah blah blah.
The patrons, they get Insomnia, our extra review. So Brad
Al Pacino. So we get to hear a lot of yelling, probably.
and Robin Williams. Yep.
Definitely a lot of yelling.
So send them out, Brad.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, all our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to Michelle for sending us comments. Love you, boo. Anyways, thank you all. And fight for your rights. Young Yoda out.